Imagine you're at a fancy restaurant, celebrating a special day with your family. The air is filled with laughter and the clinking of glasses. Now, picture this. The owner walks up to your table, looks you in the eye, and tells you to leave, simply because of the color of your skin. This isn't a story from a history book. This happened in modern-day Florida, and what followed was a whirlwind of events that nobody saw coming. This story begins with a family, the Howards. They were celebrating their daughter's 9th birthday at a high-end restaurant in a wealthy Florida neighborhood. They had made reservations, dressed in their finest clothes, and were ready for a memorable evening. But the memory they were about to make was one they would never forget, for all the wrong reasons. The restaurant's owner, a local millionaire named Richard Vance, was known for his extravagant lifestyle and, unfortunately, his very short temper. As the Howard family was being seated, Vance spotted them from across the room. Witnesses say his face turned red, and he marched directly towards their table. He didn't say hello. He didn't ask if they needed anything. He just pointed to the door and said, "We don't serve your kind here. Get out." The family was stunned. The daughter, with her birthday sash on, started to cry. Her father tried to reason with Vance, showing him their reservation confirmation. But Vance wouldn't listen. He just kept repeating, "Out. Now." The entire restaurant fell silent. Diners watched in disbelief. A few people pulled out their phones and started recording. The hostess, a young woman named Sarah, looked horrified. She had seated the family and now watched as her boss publicly humiliated them. Mr. Howard, trying to maintain his composure for his children's sake, calmly gathered his family and led them out of the restaurant. Their special night completely ruined. But this is where the story takes a sharp turn. The videos recorded by the other diners didn't just stay on their phones. Within an hour, they were all over social media. The clip of Richard Vance screaming at the Howard family went viral. The hashtag boycott Vance CES was trending on Twitter by midnight. People were outraged. How could something like this happen today? The restaurant's online review pages were flooded with 1-star ratings and furious comments. The next morning, the story was on every local news channel. Reporters were camped outside the restaurant, which remained closed. Vance, instead of apologizing, doubled down. He gave an interview claiming it was his right to refuse service to anyone and that he was the victim of a social media mob. This, as you can imagine, only added fuel to the fire. His arrogance was staggering. He seemed to believe that his wealth and status made him untouchable. But he was wrong. The community's reaction was swift and powerful. Local suppliers who had worked with Vance for years began cutting ties. His chefs and waitstaff, including Sarah the hostess, walked out. They released a joint statement saying they could no longer work for a man who held such hateful views. Sarah's personal testimony was particularly powerful. She described Vance's long history of discriminatory behavior and how she had been afraid to speak up before. The pressure mounted. The city council announced an investigation into the restaurant's business practices. Major food bloggers and critics, who had once praised the establishment, were now calling for its permanent closure. Protesters gathered outside the restaurant daily, holding signs and chanting for justice for the Howard family. The story was no longer just about one family's ruined birthday. It had become a symbol of the fight against racism. Just 3 days after the incident, the financial fallout began. Vance's investors started pulling out. The bank that held his business loans called an emergency meeting. The empire he had built on a foundation of arrogance began to crumble. He was losing money at an astonishing rate. The community had spoken, not just with their voices, but with their wallets. And then, the final blow. Less than a week after he kicked the Howard family out, a permanently closed sign appeared on the door of the restaurant. The millionaire's prized establishment was gone, shut down. The same week he had shown such ugly prejudice, his world came crashing down. It was a stunningly fast and definitive end. The story of Richard Vance serves as a powerful reminder. It shows that in our connected world, acts of hate and discrimination will not be tolerated. It demonstrates the incredible power of a community coming together to stand for what's right. People from all walks of life, united to send a clear message. There is no place for racism in our society. The Howard family, though they endured a painful experience, became the catalyst for a significant change in their community. Their dignity in the face of ugliness inspired thousands. This isn't just a story about a restaurant closing down. It's a story about the strength of ordinary people to hold the powerful accountable. It's a testament to the fact that while one person's hate can cause deep pain, a community's love and solidarity can bring about justice and create a better, more inclusive world for everyone. It shows that our actions, big and small, matter. Thank you for watching. If you found this story as impactful as we did, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more content that matters.